Hi there, this is Jeanette, and I had a request to talk about making a spray with your essential oils. Okay, now this kind of, what I'm going to talk about goes for any kind of spray that you would want to make, whether it is a room spray or a body spray, a linen spray, one of those poopery sprays. There are two basic methods that you can use, and they can apply to any of those types of sprays, okay? The basic premise or the principle that you want to remember is the simple one of oil and water don't mix, okay? So if you get on the Google and you do a search about how to make a spray, how to make a spray bottle with your essential oils, you're going to find a ton of things, a ton of recipes. And some of them are great. You know, there's a lot of good stuff out there. You're also going to find many recipes that say, put your essential oils in your bottle and add water, and then you have a spray. And that's not going to work, okay? Because oil and water don't mix. If you do that, your essential oils are going to wind up sitting on top of your water. That's not what you want, okay? So there are two ways to get around that, okay? Method number one is to use some sort of salt to absorb your essential oils into it and then add the water. Okay, so you can use Epsom salts, you can use baking soda, you can even use table salt. Okay, and if you're going to use that method, I would put maybe a half a teaspoon or even a teaspoon into your bottle. This is about a 2-ounce bottle here, and so put whatever product in there. So you're going to use Epsom salts. Put that much in. I mean, if you find a recipe, it might say put a pinch of salt in. This is kind of like cooking. It's not like baking. So you're going to put a little bit in. You know, it doesn't need to be completely exact. But you want to absorb all of your oil into one of these type of products, okay, before you add your water. It's the same type of principle as you use when you're going to take a bath and use your essential oils. You put your Epsom salt into some little container, add your oils into it, let it sit for a while so the oils get absorbed in, and then add the salt to the water. So that's kind of the same principle that you'll use. Okay, so that's the first way. The second thing that you can do is to put your oils into some sort of alcohol. Okay, I have witch hazel on hand right here. Some people use vodka. You know, use what you have. You know, if you want to make a spray and you don't have an alcohol, you don't have witch hazel or vodka, you know, use some sort of salt. Use what you have, right? I have witch hazel on hand. I prefer to use my vodka for other things. So anyhow, same principle. I'm going to put probably about a tablespoon or so of witch hazel into my container. So I'm going to pretend that I'm pouring. And most recipes that I find say to add between 15 and 30 drops of your essential oil. Okay, so whatever you're going to make, whatever you choose, that's going to be kind of your gauge. And then that's in a 2-ounce bottle. So once again, it's kind of like cooking, not as much like baking. You're going to find what works for you. I always start light, you know, so if you're not quite sure, add 15 drops. And if you find that you need more fragrance, then add more, okay? So add your alcohol base, add your oils, and then let it sit for a little bit so they kind of disperse, swirl it around, and then add water. And then you can go ahead and put your spray top on. I always shake before I use it, okay? Lastly, glass is preferred over plastic because especially if you're using a citrus oil is going to degrade the plastic. And you'll hear us talking about that other times too. But citrus oils break down plastic. They break down the petrochemicals in the plastic. Okay? That won't happen with glass. That also won't happen with metal. Okay? So if you know what oils you're using, if you're using a citrus oil, don't use a plastic spray bottle. I think that's all I have to say. Post any questions in the comments below, and happy oiling.